happy, 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 happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy, 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 happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy, 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 hey, happy, 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 happy Monday, everybody. I'm going to clean this lens because it is dirty. Oh, that looks so much better. Happy Monday, everyone. I pray that you all are well. I pray that your families are well. I pray that on this Monday that you found every reason to be grateful. We just finished Thanksgiving on last week. I pray that you enjoyed time with your family. I pray that you regrouped, that you recovered, and you are ready to move forward in this week. Y'all, as it stands at this very moment that I am live, it is December 1st. Like, where did the year go? It is December 1st, y'all. And I'm going to say this again. It is December 1st. It is the last month of this quarter. This month is the last month of this year. Oh my gosh, where did the time go? Like, it seemed like, I don't know about y'all, but it seemed like just not too long ago, we were bringing in 2025. But we are literally about, what is that, 31 days? Yeah, about 31 days into, well, 31 days from, excuse me, I had to get my grammar correct. 31 days from a whole new year. Like, can you even imagine? Like, who would have ever thought, right? So, welcome. I know y'all are probably wondering, like, who is this lady? But welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so happy that you are here. For those of you all who do not know me, my name is Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help professional women who lack self confidence and fulfillment achieve self awareness, self discovery, and self confidence. My goal is to push you into going for it, going for the things that you have been stagnant on, going for the things that you have been praying and asking God on, when he's literally waiting on you to make a move. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Y'all, welcome to Transformational Mondays. It is Transformational Mondays. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, what is Transformational Mondays, Dr. JaNee? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. Transformational Mondays is really based off of me providing you simple strategies to renovate your mind, right? And here's the thing, a lot of the times people are very focused on executing, but what people fail to realize is the power in the level that you're executing, and the results that you get determined by our position, excuse me, are determined by the positioning of your belief system, the positioning of your hope, and positioning of what you know to be true. So tonight I want to talk to you all about progress over perfection. How many of you all are perfectionists? How many of you all have had an idea or something that you wanted to pursue, but you in your mind say to yourself, I'm going to wait until it's perfect. I'm going to wait until all of the pieces are together. I'm going to wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity. I'm going to wait until my kids graduate from high school. I'm going to wait until they graduate from college. I'm going to wait. I can't get out because this is my channel. So how about um, I'm going to wait until all of the things are in alignment before I execute. Right? You want everything to be perfect. And I'm going to share this with you all. I don't know if you were anything like me, but a lot of the times, the reason why people won't move forward until things are perfect is because we don't want to mess things up. We don't want to fail. We don't want to be rejected. We don't want to be embarrassed. But here's the reality of it. One of the things that you must understand is that the only way that you will perfect a thing, and the only way that you will become better at something, is by first executing the thing. Period. You cannot expect to become the best at anything until you take the first step, until you figure out what works for this thing and what does not work for this thing. So I want to make sure that I put that out there, because a lot of the times people feel like they can't move forward until all of the pieces are together. But the reality is you won't know what the pieces are. Hi, Nancy. You won't know what the pieces are until you take a step, and then you take another step, and then you figure out, like my coach always says, I'm talking about progress over perfection. So a lot of the times whenever you execute something, I one of the things that I learned from my coach is that you have to take a step back and you have to ask yourself the question of what went well, and the second question is how can you improve. This is how people become masters at doing a thing. This is the difference between those who succeed and those who do not succeed, right? Is that they ask themselves the necessary questions. And more than anything, they're not seeking to be perfect at the first start. You do not perfect a thing, you do not improve a thing until you execute a thing. You can, how many of you all know you can have all of the pieces to everything that you say that you want to do, but if you don't move, if you don't make a move, if you don't do the work, you won't know what works until you take action. So tonight I want to discuss the mindset of progress over perfection. And when you think about perfection, it's something that is whole, it's something that is not missing, it's something that is not flawed, right? So the first thing that I want you to know about progress over perfection, if you all have not already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And tomorrow I am hosting, along with three of my amazing guests, the Mindset to Movement Summit. I have three women who have executed a thing. Some of those, all of them have failed at something, and they're sharing the raw and the real on how you can execute at a high level and still be confident and move in the very thing that you know that you have been called to. So make sure you click the link below. I have about 8 minutes and then I'm going to be done. So number one thing that you have to remember when you talk about and when you're considering positioning yourself to progress is this, because I have my notes here, is your job is to focus on execution. I'm going to say that again. Your job is to focus on execution. What is execution? Your job is to focus on the work, not figuring every single detail. If you look at the person who's waiting on everything to be perfect compared to the person who dares to take the first step and figures it out along the way, the one who wins and the one who succeeds is the person who takes action. Your job is execution. When you think about how far technology has come, when you think about how far the make and models of vehicles have come, it is because those who have made these vehicles and those who have created these vehicles in the forms of technology dare to put it out there and figured out what is going well with it and what can be improved. I want you to think about it. Whenever you visit a specific business, I want you to think about the last time you've been to either a restaurant or tried out somebody's product or service. I'm sure any one of those have either emailed you or texted you and asked you your opinion. They asked for a survey. What went well? What could have gone better? What didn't you like about this? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, how would you rate your level of service? How would you rate your experience? And you know what the goal is? They take those results, or what they're supposed to do is take those results and then go back and refine what they're doing. They go back and improve what they're doing. They're not focused on perfection initially. They're focused on executing and then along the way identifying what works. And they're shifting and changing what works and then they're adding to it. That's it. Number two, and I told y'all I'm almost done because I'm making tonight short, right? Number two is you want to implement, as you are talking about moving forward into progress, instead of perfection is you want to implement the activities that will lead to success. So I want you to identify what project or whatever or idea you want to move in. And I want you to identify what are the things, as I've heard, I think it was my coach or someone else says, that moves the needle closer to your ultimate goal. So, as an example, even for me as a coach, and as an entrepreneur, one of the things that determines my success is building leads, right? So, for me, I have to focus on doing things. That's something that will move the needle in my business, because a lead is someone who's interested or has some type of interest in the topic or content or my services, right? And then that lead can then become someone who ends up enrolling in my masterclass or so forth, and then can become a client. So by me focusing on building leads and things that will attract leads, it moves the needle forward in my business that ultimately leads to income. So here's my question. What are the activities? First of all, what is the very thing that you want to accomplish? We are in December. We have 30 more days in this month. What is the thing that you want to accomplish before the end of 2025? And then ask yourself, not perfection, what is the one thing, what is the one activity that I can do and start tonight? Right? That will lead me closer to my ultimate goal. So let's just take one that's very easy that people have that's the most popular thing. And this is to lose weight, right? So let's just say reasonably, you say, hey, if we count a pound a week, we talk about anywhere from 4 to 5 pounds that you want to lose between now and the end of December. Okay, so what is one of the things that you know that you can commit to that will move you closer to losing a pound a week or a total of 4 to 5 pounds this month? One thing you can do, of course, is drink water. Another thing you can do is exercise, right? Another thing you can do is change the food that you eat. So you want to focus on activities. You want to focus on things that are going to move you closer to what you deem success looks like for you. We're not talking about perfection here. We're talking about progress. And even as you list your activities for this week, even for me, I'll be really honest. After every event, every masterclass, every summit that I host, I sit down with a meeting by myself and I ask myself this question: what went well? What went well in the marketing? What went well during the summit? What are all of the things that worked? And the reason why I ask that question is, if it worked, I want to make sure that I continue what works. This is how you go. This is how you go from progress to perfection. And here's the thing. If you're seeking to never make mistakes along the course of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, look at your life. Has your life been perfect? Even if you can go back and talk to your parents, was delivering you a perfect experience? For some people, getting them into this world was a challenge. So you honestly think that whatever it is that you're working on is going to be perfect? No. You're not to seek perfection. Your goal is to seek to be progressive, to get, and what is that? To get better. That's it. Your goal is to become better. That's what progressive looks like. Looking at myself December 1st, 2025, I'm already in 2025, and comparing myself to who Dr. JaNee was December 1st, 2024, I am so much more further along now than I was then. Further along in my business, further along in my mindset, further along in my level of communication, further along in my relationships that still need improvement. Your goal is to improve along the way. For many of you all who are beating yourself up because you're not where you feel like you should be, Here is the thing: measure yourself now to whom you used to be. I'm sure that there's some improvement or a significant amount of improvement. Focus on those things. And lastly, if you're talking about moving forward in a business idea or what have you, at the end of the day, you just have to do it. I read this book some years ago. It was called Failing Forward. And it was the whole basis of the book was to implement and learn from your implementation. If you made a mistake, okay, what caused the mistake? As a pharmacist in the area of healthcare, we do a lot of, whenever there are errors, and this is people's lives on the line, we always go back and look retrospectively of what led to the series of events. So if a patient received the wrong medication, we go back and whoever was in the filling process of, or the administration process, if it's a hospital or nursing home, whoever was involved in that patient's care up until the time that they received that medication, they look at all of the things that happened in an effort to identify, how do we prevent this from occurring again? How do we make better decisions moving forward so that patients have better care? So when you look at your life, when you're talking about failing forward, when you're talking about doing a thing, you always want to assess yourself and ask, how can I become better? I have a sticky note that I've had on my mirror for years, and the question is, how do I improve my today? No, excuse me. What can I do today to improve my tomorrow? And a lot of the times I look back and I assess all of the things that I have done well and am doing well. And the goal is for me to continue to do the things that are leading me to the path of success that I desire. And those things that don't, those things that are not working, I ask myself, why are they not working? So if you're not getting the results in your life or any area of your life, identify why it's not working. A lot of the times we want things to be perfect, but we haven't done the homework. We haven't done the studying to identify what is the very thing that's missing that needs to be added so this thing can be better than what it was before. So even when you look at your life, don't deem yourself as a failure or don't deem something as a failure. Identify what caused the failure. What caused the disappointment? What caused the results that you had? I'll use me again as an example. In my journey of losing over 30 plus pounds, I had to assess what was working well for me. Right? I had to assess that. I know for me, I can't speak for anybody else, that water is one of the best things that I can incorporate and drink on a daily basis. Why? Because I find that when I drink water, it curbs my appetite. It washes out a lot of the salt and the sugar that I may have ingested. So you have to identify what is working, and if it's not working, why is it not working? In some areas, they call this a root cause analysis. Looking at the root of a thing that caused whatever the effect was in an effort and a goal to make adjustments to improve along the way. This is what successful people do. They execute, they review a thing, and then they improve it and they go out and do it again. I know for me, I am on my 4th summit. And in each time, the times that I have ended these summits, I always ask myself, how can I improve? Even if I thought it went well. Because I understand that there is room for improvement. There is room for development. There's room for growth. Even in working with clients, I do surveys. What more do you need? What additional support do you need? What have you accomplished? What did not go so well? Because the goal is to identify, how can I progress? One of the things that I've learned, and I'm almost done, is that God made us to be progressive. He made us to be productive. So even in your doing, you want to identify what is working. And again, if it's not working, identify why it's not working. Quit focusing on perfection before you get started. Because if you're looking and seeking for it to be perfect before you start, let me tell you something, you will never get started. If you are one who is stuck in perfection mode and you really want to overcome that, click the link below. Join me and my guests, my amazing guests, my experts, who will share real life experiences of their journey of stardom, to even the pitfalls, to even the successes. So let's end this year strong and move into 2026 even more powerful than we leave 2025. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel so that anytime that I share any content, you join me. So you all have a phenomenal day, and remember to know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.